Speaker.
Or to the member for Canberra.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and may I begin by congratulating you on your elevation to or re-election to Deputy Speaker again also. And I'm very pleased that my first contribution in the new parliament is to be speaking about the environment, something that's incredibly important to me and incredibly important to my constituents in the electorate of Canberra. And I want to respond just to the hypocrisy writ large from the Coalition in bringing this as a matter of public importance today when they did nothing for a decade in government, and it is actually hard to see how the Shadow Minister kept a straight face for half of that speech with some of the things that were put forward. Now, like many Australians, most Australians, I have been really concerned to see the devastating algal bloom in South Australia and seeing beautiful marine species washing up dead and the devastating impact that that is having. And I'm really pleased that our government has announced $14 million partnering with the South Australian government and matching the funding they are putting in to address this across priority areas including research and science, business assistance, community awareness and support and clean-up efforts. And this is critically important. But what those opposite seem to be ignoring by bringing this today is that what is driving this is climate change. And that has been incredibly clear. And it reminds me, having first been elected in 2019, what it was like to be here in opposition with those opposite in government doing absolutely nothing while a climate crisis unfolded. The Black Summer bushfires of 2019-2020 going on while those just ignored climate science. And to come in here and claim that they suddenly care about the environment, well, I welcome that if they do, but it's going to take a lot of policy change on their side. And in fact, at the moment, in the first weeks of Parliament, one of the first things that we hear from them is that some of their own members want to bring in a private members' bill to drop their commitment to net zero. It is unbelievable. And I think I saw a great headline in the Batuta Advocate the other day, who so often get it right, saying that the Coalition, after ignoring climate science for decades, is now also ignoring election results. Because what doesn't seem to be getting through to those opposite after not just this election victory for Labor but also the previous one is that Australians want to see action taken on climate change. They want to see our precious environment protected. And I am proud to be part of a government that is doing that. And I am proud to be part of the Labor Party, who are responsible for every significant environmental reform in Australia's history. So I'm not going to be, it's extraordinary to hear what those opposite have said in this matter of public importance today. This is a coalition that had a decade in government to fix environmental laws, and instead they cut funding to the Environment Department by 40%. They halved highly protected marine parks, they sabotaged the Murray-Darling Basin Plan, and they let environmental standards slide into chaos. They had the Samuel review of our critically important environmental protection and biodiversity laws, and they ignored it and actually used it as an excuse to try and weaken the laws. Well, I am proud that this is one of the first things that we are doing as a new government is to, again, be trying to reform those laws, as we did attempt to in the previous parliament, because this is something that is incredibly important. We cannot protect nature without getting those laws right. We cannot protect nature without responding to the climate crisis. We cannot protect nature without an aim of getting to net zero. I mean, it's extraordinary that we are still even discussing this. Instead, at this election, those opposite took a nuclear fantasy, which was more of a distraction from the actual climate crisis and the need to respond to it, and a distraction from our plans to invest in renewable energy and transition us to a sustainable economy, that I am so proud of what we have already achieved in our first term, and that we're going to continue that as a re-elected government, because this is critically important. This is about the future of our planet. This is about, life on Earth. This is about our economy and so much more. And those officers seem to be completely in denial about what is required.
I'm giving the